Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So we're here today with a little bit of a book haul. It isn't too crazy. I've actually been reining it in a bit. I've also been putting some, kind of clearing up my shelf, rearranging everything a good booktuber goes through. But I wanted to share with you the small pile that I do have. And I got one sent to me by a publisher, a couple, I did go to Barnes & Noble one day, and some other various finds. So the first one that was sent to me for review is Going to Maine. This is by Sally Chaffin Brooks. This is her memoir of her, when she was 25, her friend Erin asked her to basically hike the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. And Sally's like, sure, I'll hang out with you, but I didn't realize how much it was going to take out of her. Sounds like there's definitely some hilarious things that happen in here, some wrong turns, some maybe close calls, and they kind of pick up some people along the way, including somebody she may fall in love with. So just reading a little bit of it, I feel like this is going to be a fun read. When does it come out is the question. September 10th. So this would be a good lake book, I think. I'll take this with me, but it sounds fantastic. It sounds awesome. I'm here for it. Then I did pick up, I did a book outlet order for some birthday presents, and I bought two to stay here. One is the Spy School graphic novel that I'm going to have Max read. And then the other one is The Resting Place by Camilla Sten. This one, they also wrote The Lost Village, which I have on my shelf, which I've heard some pretty awesome creepy things about. This one is the medical term is prosopagnosia. The average person calls it face blindness, the inability to recognize a familiar person's face. When Eleanor walked in on the scene of her cruel grandmother's, Vivian's murder, she came face to face with the killer, a maddening expression that means nothing to someone like her. So she has face blindness. She met the killer. We go from there. I think we have multiple perspectives. We do. So excited for this. I've heard great things. I don't want to know much more. I'm here for it. Then I was at Half Price Books, and I came across The Hawthorne Legacy and The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. She wrote the Inheritance Games, which I read the first one, absolutely loved, about a young woman who finds out that she is part of she's part of a will that's being read for a very well-off person, and she kind of has a chance at inheriting the kind of fortune. She has to go live at this place for a year amongst these people she's never met, and it goes from there. And then this is the second and third book from it, so excited to find those there for only, this one was $5.50, this one was $10, so not too bad. Target had their sale, so I picked up In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros. I've read a couple of hers now besides Fourth Wing, and I'm really loving her contemporary books. This one sounds like a second chance romance, I would think. We'll see. Why don't I tell you what it's about? That would be helpful. When Izzy Astor gets on a plane to go home, she isn't expecting much. It's the usual holiday travel experience, busy, crowded, stressful. Yeah, I've been there. Then she spots her seatmate, who's anything but ordinary. We have Nate, who sports dark hair, blue eyes, and a deliciously rugged charm that Izzy can't resist. Their connection is undeniable. Izzy never believed in destiny before, but she does now. 90 seconds after takeoff, the plane goes down in the Missouri River. Their lives change, they change. Nate goes on to a career in the military, while Izzy finds her way into politics. Despite a few chance encounters over the year, the timing never feels right. Then there's a high-stakes reunion in Afghanistan where Nate is tasked with protecting Izzy's life. I'm here for it. I picked up Butcher and the Blackbird. A friend of mine said that she really enjoyed this one. It must have been the third book I picked, because I'm not sure. But the viral friends to lovers, dark romantic comedy full of murder, chaos, and sizzling chemistry. Every serial killer needs a friend, and every game must have a winner. A chance encounter sparks an unlikely bond between rival murderers, Sloane and Rowan. They find something elusive, the friendship of two like-minded, pitch-black souls who just happen to enjoy killing other serial killers, which I believe is how she kind of pitched it to us at book club. And I was like, okay, it's a book about serial killers. I'll give it a whirl. I'm always there. And then I picked up First Lie Wins. I did not get this as book of the month pick when I was still doing book of the month on a regular basis. This is by Ashley Elston. And I really regretted it. My friend Jen read it and said she just sped through this. And then I've been seeing a lot of other people really like it. So I had a little buyer's remorse and I picked it up. So we have Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Parker doesn't exist. Huh. Interesting. Okay, stop reading, Lindsay. But I've heard, again, I'm so influenced so easily lately. And then I picked up The Royal Librarian by Daisy Wood. Also was told that this is a book that I needed to have in my hands. This is Windsor 1940 and then Philadelphia present day. So historical fiction around a library, dual timelines. I mean, hello. So war is raging and as bombs rain down across Britain, nowhere is safe, not even the royal palace. Secretly tasked with foiling a suspected plot, Sophie Klein is placed in the Royal Library at Windsor Castle, where the princess resides. But when she learns that the palace is compromised, Sophie must sacrifice everything she loves to save the future Queen of England. Then we have present day. Looking through her grandmother's papers, Lacey Jones comes across a mysterious letter stamped with the Windsor Castle crest. But how did it come to be in her family's possession? So she starts jumping down that rabbit hole and figuring it out, and I'm sure it's all connected and it's going to be fantastic. So I've heard, again, this was a direct, you need to read this one. Another buyer's remorse from book of the month is Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. This one also was told I missed out on a really good one, so I picked this one up from Barnes & Noble. She will kill your worst enemy. All you have to do is kill hers. Kind of this you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But Steve Kavanaugh wrote 13, which I really enjoyed. And I've been told that this is just as good, if not better. So we'll go with that. And then this was totally a cover buy at Barnes & Noble. And then I sat down and had myself a coffee and I started reading it. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to have to own this one for sure. This is Miss Morgan's Book Brigade by Janet Scaslien Charles. Also wrote the Paris Library, also a beautiful book. We have two timelines, 1918 during World War I and 1987. It's based on the true story of Jessie Carson, the American librarian who changed the literary landscape of France. And like I said, I probably read the first easily. I know I read the prologue. I mean, I got probably 20 pages into it and I was just like, yeah, I gotta stop reading the free book and just pick it up. So it came home with me. Then, again, another, how did I come across this one? I don't remember. It might have been Instagram or something like that. But somebody did historical fiction recommendations based on events. So the Titanic, which is what this one's from. What were the other ones? There was just key events. Sinking of Lusitania was one. And of course, I'm not going to be able to find this post again. But this one caught my eye. And so I found it on Pango, used my Pango bucks. It is The Second Mrs. Astor. This is by Shayna Abe. We have Madeline is 17 when she attracts the attention of John Jacob or Jack Astor. Madeline is beautiful, intelligent, and solidly upper class, but the Astors are in a league apart. Jack's mother was the Mrs. Astor, American royalty and New York's most formidable socialite. Jack is dashing, industrious, a hero of the Spanish-American War, an inventor, and a canny businessman. Despite their 29-year age difference, the scandal of Jack's recent divorce, Madeline falls headlong in love and becomes the press's favorite target. On their extended honeymoon in Egypt, the newlyweds finally find a measure of peace when photographers and journalists. She feels truly alive for the first time and is happily pregnant. The couple plans to return home in the spring of 1912 aboard a very new ocean liner. But when the ship hits an iceberg close to midnight, there's no immediate panic. The swift, state-of-the-art Titanic seems unsinkable. As Jack helps Madeline into a lifeboat, he assures her that he'll see her soon in New York. Then we go 4 months later, which is what drew me into it, because it's not just leading up to the event and the event itself. We have the post-event and what comes of that. So I grabbed it. I want to say it was like a few bucks, and this looks like it has never been read. I'm telling you guys, Pingo's been really good to me. Really good to me. So then I have a couple more I've added to my collection. I'm having a rummage sale, and Matt's aunt brought over a couple of books she wanted to get rid of, and I was like, I'm gonna read those first. So I have The Butcher by Jennifer Hillier. This is one of her earlier books. So she wrote the series Creep and then Freak, and then Butcher came after that. But I know it's mass market paperback, but it's kind of like a floppy mass market paperback. I'm loving it. So I want to read that. And then she also had Fiona Davis, The Masterpiece. So I owe her $1 for these. Love Fiona Davis. I've read 2 books, I believe, by her now. Always does some sort of, maybe she doesn't always do multiple timelines, but I feel like she usually does. We have 1930. What else do we have? 1975. So we do have multiple timelines in here. For most New Yorkers, Grand Central Terminal is a crown jewel, a masterpiece of design, but for Clara and Virginia, it represents something quite different. The other thing Fiona Davis does is usually writes books over some sort of famous landmark. So the address is over like a famous apartment building. She has the lines of Fifth Avenue with the New York Public Library. This one, it must be Grand Central. So Clara, it's 1928. She's teaching at the lauded Grand Central School of Art, though not even the prestige of the school can override the public's disdain for a woman artist. Ooh, I like her already. She's on a quest to achieve every creative success, even while juggling the affections of 2 very different men. But she and her friends have no idea that they'll soon be blindsided by the looming Great Depression, and that every poverty and hunger will do little to prepare Clara for her greater tragedy yet to come. And then we have 1974. The terminal has declined almost sharply as Virginia Clay's life. Dilapidated and dangerous, Grand Central is the center of a fierce lawsuit. Really? It's the one grand building, a landmark to be preserved, or a cancer to be demolished. For Virginia, it's simply her last resort. She accepted a job in the information booth in order to support herself and her daughter. But when she stumbles upon an abandoned art school within the terminal and discovers a striking watercolor, her eyes are open to the elegant beauty within the decay. So, I like it. Anyways, those are the latest books that I've picked up. Not too bad. I reined it in. Just making sure I don't have any other ones sitting back there. If you've read any of these, which ones do you think I need to start sooner rather than later? Comment below, let me know. Otherwise, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time. Bye.